Hi, I'm Syra of Team Zaza, as in Zaza Zaruna, a famous Filipina transgender superheroine. In this series of videos, I'm going to be talking about how we came up with our question, how can we understand a race and gendered multiplicity in the context of the US, and also where the US has had significant influence using what we have learned to be trans theory, and also what we know about gender and performance. For me, I believe that discussing this question is representative of our research as a whole, as one, it reflects our original interests. Two, that it is a reflection of the reformulations that this question finally came to as a result of our initial research. And third, that this question is a reflection of our reflections, in that we had to learn, or we had to define for ourselves, what is exactly trans theory. So, for us, trans theory involves not just transgender or crossing gender lines, but also racial lines at the same time, primarily, which was the focus of this particular project. So now I'm going to also talk about how we developed this question out of frustration and inspiration. So for me, and for us, well, for Charlie, Alex, and myself, it came out of frustration in that we felt like gender multiplicity is something that isn't talked about in our classes unless it's in the context of subverting the gender binary, but never as distinct third or fourth or even fifth genders. So Alex and I decided to focus on Bakla in the Philippines because that's something we're familiar with and that's something we know best. So for me, inspiration came from looking at The Aggressives and at Kaylee's Trans Man memoir, Just Add Hormones. And how, what I found interesting was that even though these performances violate ideas of inherent gender as related to genitalia, that these are not considered distinct genders in and of themselves. So for me, that prompts the question, how different does a gendered performance have to be, or a race and gendered performance have to be, in order to qualify as a distinct and discrete gender in and of itself? So now you are going to have to go over and link over to the next YouTube video, just because when I originally recorded these videos, I ran out of space to email them to Charlie on my computer. So go ahead and do that right now.